Hello and welcome back to another episode of Off on Tangents. How you feeling, Jake? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, bro.
Yeah, you've been
coming
good?
off that fresh dub today. I'm on top of the world right now.
Yeah, Jake just had a basketball game where he's just dominating a bunch of nobodies, actually.
No, they were the reigning champions in the league, bro.
Welcome back, guys. As you know, my name is Pompey. My co-host here, Jake. We're Off on Tangents. We're episode 6 now.
Yeah.
And we're staying consistent with this. We're back with another show, and we're pretty much going to go through the MVP race, which is an interesting topic.
It's a contentious topic.
Yeah, it's always contentious and it's always subjective, and people are going to have their debates, and like we always do here, we always have our debates. We're always different in what we think, and there's clearly two clear front runners, and we'll go through that throughout the show. We'll also be talking about the best duos or the best core.
The best young core,
best young core in the NBA, and because these guys affect the future, and they're going to affect the NBA landscape. Should they stick together? So, it's going to be an interesting, say, 10, 15 years. And so, we'll be covering that, and also our rapper of the week. Is none other than Tupac Shakur, or better known as Tupac or Pac.
They just get better every week, bro.
Yeah, we're just changing it up a bit. Just because we've been covering all the new age rappers or
modern rappers.
the modern rappers, and we should always pay homage and pay respect to the old guys,
the greats,
yes, the pioneers,
that's right.
The machinist, whatever that word is, mechanist. The ones that steered hip hop in the direction it is,
paved the way, I guess.
And you always hear Tupac being referenced in like a lot of Kendrick Lamar's music. J. Cole even mentions him. Hell, even I think Joey Badass sometimes even reference him. So, we've always got to pay respect to them, and so it's going to be an interesting show, and but we'll start with the NBA, and as we always do, the MVP race, as you know, is pretty much between two guys, and they're actually playing today in the NBA, the Bucks and the Lakers. And Jakey, talk us through the MVP race. Like, so far the story has been between LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah,
I got that right.
Yeah, you did actually.
Try saying it.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Ooh, close. I think
that's not it.
I think it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah, I remember him saying it
with the accent.
Yeah.
We're just probably both butchering it right now.
But talk us through the clear front runners. It's basically between LeBron and Giannis, and
we're at the point in the season now where it does sort of fall down to two people at this point, sometimes three. I know earlier in the season, and Luka was pushing into the conversation, but he's sort of fallen off now. And for the first year, James Harden isn't up there, so you can't claim that he was snubbed this year. That's for sure. But those two all year round have been consistently dominating, and basically the MVP works on it picks the most valuable player for the regular season. Yeah. So arguably there isn't another like any other player in the league that's been on top of it this year other than those two. And I guess you look at the first thing that you look at when you look at the most valuable players, you look at the record of the team.
Correct.
Both of those teams are leading their conference. The Bucks are leading the league at the moment with the best record.
Sure.
So that's one of the things I guess you look at, and then I guess you look at what each individual adds to their team. So if you could look at whether they have a lot of support around, whether they're, you know, the main guy and they're leading them to a great record. So there's a number of things that come into the MVP. Yeah. I'm sure you probably could add a few extra things. What are some of the criteria that they look at other than that?
As you mentioned, team record is definitely, they look at, they also look, the list is not exhaustive. Like you can put any factor in.
Excitement.
Excitement,
point totals,
on and off,
records,
plus minus, and like it's just really how you define the most valuable. Yeah, the most valuable player. Now,
like Russell Westbrook won it a few years ago because he broke history.
Something historical.
It can come down to a number of different things. You're right.
Team record is a lot of people say team record factors in, right? You could for instance, Trae Young is averaging almost like 29 points, but he's got a bad record. He wouldn't like. He's not even been spoken. Yeah, he's not even been talked about. So team record, the second player on the team, that's another factor, right? Now
that's what we're going to be taking into consideration. Clearly,
I give the edge to Giannis. That's one of my factors. Is that his second player, and this is no disrespect to Chris Middleton. He is an all-star player, right? But he's no AD. Okay, so that I give that to Giannis as now Giannis.
So the supporting cast, in other words, is, or I guess just the backup, because you could then argue that the supporting cast is better in general for the Bucks. So
correct.
Whilst they don't have the star player in AD, obviously it's a star-driven league, and that probably makes the biggest difference.
Yeah.
But if you look at the two teams, put them next to each other, and you'd say that the team in the Bucks is way more is way more deep.
Sure,
they've got a lot better 3-point shooters.
Correct.
And so there's the whole support argument is almost counteracts each other there, because whilst they don't have the star power, they do have just the greater team in general, I'd say. So
well, another thing is, okay, if you want to factor this in, it's up to you. Age, right? Okay. LeBron has been doing this for 17 years, and he's in his 17th season. So at 35, he'd be one of the oldest MVPs. I think Karl Malone was the oldest.
How old was he when he won it?
I think it was 35 as well. If you want to factor that in, age, sure, give it to him. Okay, but just because someone's older, that doesn't give him more weight to it.
I think it does add to the amazement of what he's doing. Whilst you might not say, oh, that should give him the edge, it is pretty impressive. You think most people around the 35-year-old mark, they're not competing with a 25-year-old in Giannis.
Exactly, right.
That's a pretty impressive feat. He's got 10 years of age. He's got the most probably wear and tear on his body of many superstars
I agree. So that's a point to LeBron if you want to factor that in, age. Okay. Now, like I said, the list is not exhaustive. LeBron is averaging the most league assists per average per game, and that's because I suppose he's trying to be in his latter stages of his career. He's trying to be more of a distributor. He's always been a distributor, but he's trying to get everyone else involved. Given that his body,
he can't just be taking the ball all the time and carrying everyone on his back. So
also, given that Giannis has limitations regarding his shooting, I mean, LeBron's the well-rounded player. And
I would say, given a few more years, Giannis is definitely improving on each shot. He's definitely getting better. So I don't know if I'd say LeBron. I'd say, like, what do both of them shoot in terms of percentages? Do you have that up here? Or
LeBron. Okay, so overall, LeBron's at 50%. Or 49.7 to be exact. Giannis is at 54.8, and that's because of his penetration in the paint, right?
So the 3 points where they differ.
Yeah. So LeBron, look, he's just a bit under the average, league average. Giannis, as you know, his limitations are the 3 point. Well, not even the 3 point, like just his jump shooting. So, and they're both pretty bad free throw shooters in that regard, but
well below.
Now,
which is surprising for LeBron. You'd expect him to be shooting better at this stage in his career, but it is. In terms of the shooting, you give the edge to LeBron, but in terms of the physical dominance, you give the edge to Giannis at this stage.
Yeah, and
maybe
it's
in the prime it would be different. Yeah, that's the thing that's
LeBron
impressive.
Is still a
very physically dominating,
gifted player. So
which is something goes hand in hand with the age. You don't see many people at his age still enforcing their will on defenses, and that's LeBron James. Like, he does that on every given night.
And well, see, it's just going to be so. This is why I love this topic, because it's just so hard. You can like argue both points. Now, ways. Giannis, he's having a historical season in the sense that his plus minus is actually on par to be the biggest plus minus in NBA history. I think it was last person was Wilt Chamberlain.
Is it the plus minus, or is like I remember reading as well his PER, which is like a game stat that
PER. No, I think it's the PER. Not plus or minus. PER.
It's like a game statistic that takes in everything, every different thing they do, and sort of equates how good they played, essentially. But he's on point to beat Michael Jordan, isn't he? Like,
well, I think it was Wilt Chamberlain that had the largest one. Set the best one.
I thought Michael Jordan was up there as the best day. There was like a few performances where he was up there, but either way, he is on point to be setting the new record for that. And it's not even by a close mark; it's by like a long shot, So
exactly. So, I mean, there's both points. So, okay, here's a question: first person that comes to mind, LeBron or Giannis, who's going to win the MVP this year?
Oh, if I would say who. The way you phrase that question, who's gonna win the MVP? I'd say
it's a regular season award.
Yeah, I'd say Giannis is gonna win it. Whether I'll go on topic and say that's who I want to win it, that's a different question. If you ask me who do I think should win it, then I would be a little bit more torn. But who's gonna win it would be Giannis. I can't see LeBron taking it away from. I think he'll be the reigning MVP 2 years in a row. I think it will be anonymous. Not anonymous. What's the
unanimous?
Unanimous.
Like Steph Curry.
Yeah, I think
the second award.
I think there's not going to be. I don't think there's going to be anyone that doesn't vote him through. I don't know how the votes work, but I think he'll be unanimous.
Oh, it's ridiculous how they voted, but it's I think like a bunch of NBA analysts put it to a vote, and then at the NBA awards they changed it now to only have 3 finalists. It's not like, and I sort of hate that because it takes the mystery out of who could win it. Because
they used to have more people in the running for it. Well,
they wouldn't even tell you who won it.
Oh, they wouldn't tell you who's running for it.
Yeah, they wouldn't even tell you, but you would have a good idea of who it was. But I sort of like that mystery, because you think
could
like
be anyone in the league.
Yeah, it could have been like the person that you least expected. Say someone you thought he was 5th in the MVP race.
Alex Caruso coming through.
Oh man, he's got a bad hairline, eh?
Oh,
his hairline's
shocking.
But so. But right now they nominate 3 finalists, the analysts, and they pick out of the 3, and that goes with any other award now. Defensive Player of the Year, anything like that. So 6 man. Look, all right. So Giannis, regular season.
Who's gonna win it? What you got to answer the same question.
Who?
Not who you think should win it. Who's gonna win it? Yeah.
Giannis. Yeah. Definitely, but who I want the MVP to go to is LeBron.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Only because I want him to equal Michael Jordan for the amount of MVPs.
Too many times he should have won it. I think he missed. I think he should have how many he's got? 4 now.
4, yeah.
He should have at least 5 or 6. I'm year round. I'm surprised that he doesn't get the MVP.
Okay. Going on that, what year do you think he should have won? So he's only got 4, right? So
yeah.
What years do you think he should have won it?
I think he should have won in the most recent year that I'm thinking is the 2017 season.
2016.
That's the year before that the year that Kyrie left the team. Oh no, it was the 2018 season. So
the year James Harden won.
Yeah, obviously they go off record, and I think they came in 4th in the East at that point.
Yeah.
But I thought when I look at the MVP, the next year when they lost LeBron James, that team went down to like last place in the league, man. Yeah. And the Harden-led Warriors, the Harden-led Rockets, they went from first place in the West to being like the next year they were still they made a few changes, but they were like 2nd or 3rd or 4th in the West, so it just to me it heavily weighs on me the fact that team without LeBron was the worst team in the league. With LeBron, they made it to the finals. So obviously they don't take postseason into thing, but I thought that year he could have easily come through and should have won it based on the to me most valuable player. Sort of insinuates who does the most for their team.
Correct.
And I thought the Rockets were a more well-rounded team. Sure, James Harden was leading scoring and doing what James Harden does.
Yeah.
And that's not to take away from James Harden, because there's years where he should have won it that he didn't.
Yeah.
I thought LeBron James could have had a shot at it that year. I thought in terms of, for me, most valuable player means who does the most for their team.
Sure.
And without them, which team would lose the most, you know what I mean? And that was so clear with the Cavs when they just went from losing one player, being in the finals in the 2017 season, and 2018 being dead last in the league, I'm pretty sure. That would be the year most recent in mind that I think he could have won it.
Okay. Well, that's arguable, and it's pretty good. Like, good argument proposed. I mean, yeah.
What about you? What do you think? Is there years that you think he could have won it that he didn't?
I feel like the D Rose MVP should have been given to him. Like, as much as D Rose was only averaging 25 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, but LeBron was like 28, 7, and I can't remember what it was, but they gave it to D Rose. Like, no, don't mean that in a bad way. But I don't think D Rose should have won that MVP. It's like Shaquille O'Neal, he could have won like 3 MVPs. Only ended up winning 1 because of like, he even said it himself. I felt like I should have won like 2-3 MVPs. The 2 that Steve Nash won should have been given to him. So look, at the end of the day, he had 1, and hopefully LeBron at the end of his career can have
at least 5.
At least 5. So
yeah, I think we're both on the same page. And for the sheer factor of just, you can't help but love LeBron, and he's the best of our generation, and I think it would do a lot for him. Giannis has plenty of years in the come to win MVPs. I'd love to see LeBron win this year. That'll be my best outcome. But yeah. Okay.
Well, guys and girls out there, tell us what you think of our debate. Who do you think the MVP, or who will win the MVP, and who do you think should win the MVP? So they're the debates that we have spoken about. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there for the MVP segment. We'll come back shortly, and we'll talk about the best up and coming cores in the NBA. Oh, let's continue our podcast. With our second topic of discussion, we're going to talk about the best up-and-coming core duo trios in the NBA. We think that are going to make a big impact in the next 5 to 10 years, or even longer.
Yeah.
So we'll kick it off. we have a bunch of lists here, and by no means there could be different duos, trios that you think could be added to this list, but this is the ones that we thought were the most had the
There's
most
some
impact.
notable players that we left off, for instance, Donovan Mitchell. We left off for the reason that we couldn't really see his team as much of a young core. We looked at his team as a great team. We looked at him as a good young up and coming player, but there's not really a young core to talk about there. So this is specifically the teams with that look like they're under 25 young core, and maybe. Do you want to start off with maybe the Western teams, or?
Ooh, okay. So
I just want to list them all out.
So Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. Now, as you know, Kristaps was traded from New York to Dallas and pretty much took the whole 2018-2019 season off, and but he looks promising, and given that there's the European connection there, like the whole
there is
it's European basketball is played different now, and Luka Doncic being I think it was the number fourth pick in the 2018 draft. He's just been on fire, and obviously he won the Rookie of the Year.
He was in the MVP race earlier in the year when
he sort of dropped off
coming second or something.
But that's definitely a dangerous core to look out for. And what are your thoughts on them and this tough Western Conference? Like, do you see them winning a championship in say 5 years? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Well, the Mavs. I think the Mavs were sort of one of the headliner teams when we wrote these down, because they're the first two people when you think of young up and coming stars. Luka Doncic has just been super exciting to watch for the past 2 years. He's already been labelled a star. He's very young, and he's getting a lot of attention very early. And Kristaps was already as well someone that I loved watching when he played for the Knicks. So to see him back and healthy, and he is getting better. He started off pretty slow, but since the injuries have started coming for Doncic, he's definitely stepped up and played a pretty impressive role. So. I think they're one of the teams when we're looking at these top core teams. I think they're in the Western Conference one of the best teams that we'll see in the next five years if they stay together. Which I'm hoping that they do. And there is that sort of link to the European League with the Mavs, because their favourite player was Dirk Nowitzki. So it looks like they're going to continue that legacy, which is good. So I think. They've got a young player such as Luka, who's almost like a mini James Harden, almost more efficient though. So he can get you with a step back. He can play the pick and roll with Porzingis, who also is a good 3-point shooter. And I just see them as one of the most exciting duos in this list to watch. One of the probably, I'd say one of the duos with the highest ceiling. It depends. Like you can build a team around them, and they're going to provide for you. So I definitely see them as a threat.
The next team is the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. Now these most analysts, I think most people would agree as well that Ja Morant's probably going to win Rookie of the Year, and that's only because I think Zion just is not playing enough games.
He missed out on too much.
Yeah, he's missed out on too much. So I think Ja Morant will win Rookie of the Year, but he sort of reminds me of Chris Paul. It's weird.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why, but he just sort of reminds me of Chris Paul in the way he just facilitates and just. Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook.
I was just about to say he's got
the hops. Yeah, he's very explosive, but he's got the hops. He's got that. Yeah, I don't know. It just sort of reminds me of
a hybrid of the two.
Yeah, hybrid of the two. So
he's I would say a better Russell Westbrook, where he's got that explosiveness, but he's also got the ability. Well, not to knock on Westbrook's passing ability. He's good at passing, but I think he's got a better sort of. He's almost got a better decision making, more like Chris Paul in that aspect. Yeah. And he's got the lead. Like he's just for a rookie, he's got probably the highest ceiling on this list, man, in terms of what he's done this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good young duo in the Western Conference. Whether they I don't know how they stack up in my opinion with the duo of Kristaps and Luka. I'd say for me Morant is the star of this. Jarrett Jackson Jr. has played pretty well, but he's not at the level of Kristaps Porzingis yet. So whether they'll see as much success is a question. But Ja Morant, one of the most exciting young rookies to watch, and
definitely
he's going to be one to look out for, and definitely in the future MVP races, and I'm sure there'll be a competitive team in the West in the next few years.
Well, our next team is, and I pray to whoever that this team wins a championship, because they deserve it. I mean, they're like the most. I think they're the lowest TV rating team in the league. It's the New Orleans Pelicans, and
that won't be for long.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully it'll pick up. But their trio of Zion, Lonzo Ball, and Brandon Ingram is just a trio to look out for, because they look scary on paper. Given that Zion loves to be a bully in the paint, and you got the other guys starting to shoot well as well. I mean, Brandon Ingram now is a first-time All-Star, so he's only got to get better as well. And he's a scorer. Like, he's a very good scorer.
Yeah, definitely.
He's tall, he's lengthy, and he can, when he chooses to, he can defend because of his length. Now, and Lonzo Ball is a very good defender as well. Like, he's very underrated. Like, very good. Like, just sort of like having hands out and all that. So, and then like if you just have Zion in the paint just being a bully, of course he's got to expand his game. But I think that team is going to be deadly.
Are they the most exciting of the West for you? The best team in the next few years? Think to watch.
I think if they stay together, I think New Orleans will be the team to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I think.
What do you think?
It's easy to. There's so many good young cores to look out for. So obviously Luka and KP are going to be exciting, but man, this team has to be the most exciting. I think in all of the young core. Obviously because of all the hype for Zion, he's just starting in his career, and he's already come out since injury and given us a lot to be excited for.
A little taste.
But man, just my main reasons for liking this team is because of how much better the Ingram and Lonzo have played since coming from the Lakers.
Yeah.
I feel like Lonzo has been prematurely labelled as a bust, and he's had like 2 years in the NBA, and they weren't up to the hype. But he's definitely looking like a really improved player this year. His shot is not, going off to the side anymore. Yeah. He's got a much better 3-point shot. He's the chemistry between him and Zion is very promising. So I would be happy I'll be surprised if they got rid of him, because I think those two together are going to be a dangerous duo. And then you've got, you got Brandon Ingram on the side. Kevin Durant, I was going to say.
Sort of reminds me of Kevin Durant.
Yeah, because he's just long and lanky. Yeah, so I think that probably is the best young core to look out for in the next 5-10 years if they stay together, which they probably won't once they start getting, max contracts. They need to be paid, but.
All right. Well, what about the Eastern Conference teams? So
I think you missed the one more, the Nuggets on the West.
The Joker. Yeah. We'll briefly mention them. So the Joker, wow, passing center. He's very crafty with the ball, and he can space the floor as well. I mean, he can shoot that 3 ball really well. But it's what really stands out with the Joker is his passing ability. His ability to just I think he's the best passing center in the league. I mean, maybe he may have learnt a lot from Marc Gasol and watching Marc Gasol play, because Marc Gasol is a very good passing center as well, and Joker is just the way he just visualizes the game where he's at in the post. He'll just dish it out. Yeah, dish it out. No look passes, all that good stuff. What about you?
Yeah, he makes almost point guard type passes, man. He's got great vision.
Yep.
He's not your typical looking basketball player, and that's what's so
chubby, hey?
Exciting about him. He's a little bit chubby, and I think he just shocks everyone in terms of he's very skilled. He might not be the most athletic player or the most athletic center, but man, he's definitely got the best vision for any young up and coming center, and in a league that's sort of making the center position almost obsolete. I think he's the type of center that you would definitely keep in your team. He's the type of center that you could build around and argue, centers are still valuable. So I definitely like it. We haven't really mentioned much about Murray, but Joker is for me the star of that team, and then Murray is a good sort of supporting star. He's a very reliable young point guard, and he shoots. So I like the Nuggets, but I don't see them as having as much upside as the Mavs or the Pelicans in the coming years. But they've been a very consistently good team in the regular season. In the playoffs, they seem to get a bit challenged with the teams, I think. So
I think that's just the experience, to be honest. Like, I mean, last year they had 2 tough 7-game series. One against the Spurs and then one against Portland, which I felt like they should have won.
They could have won it as well.
Yeah, it was like the last 20 seconds and they lost it.
And there was that game as well that went into 4 overtimes or something. Like, you just felt so bad for them at that point. So it could have been a different outcome, but
All right, the Eastern Conference duos. We have here Trae Young and John Collins now. Trae, obviously, he was on the other side of the swap between Atlanta and Dallas, because Trae Young was initially meant to go to Dallas.
Who do you think won that trade?
Look, honestly, this is gonna throw a lot of people off, but I actually think Trae Young's gonna be better than Luka Doncic.
Luka in the long run.
Like, he has more upside to him. I mean, I feel like Luka's just he's gonna plateau a bit. Like, so he's
better now.
He's better now, but he's gonna plateau and he's gonna be like this. Whereas I think Trae Young is gonna go up and just keep ascending. So yeah, I think right now Luka, but
he's had a more immediate effect on the team's success.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, Trae Young, they haven't really seen the success that you'd expect from them, but I don't know how I feel about that trade. I feel like both teams won in that they both got the player they're looking for. I would say that the Mavs have won more so far because of it, but maybe in the future the Hawks will see more upside from Trae. I think Trae had a tougher start to his career than Luka came in and was instantly a star. Trae Young sort of struggled for a bit last year in his rookie year. He wasn't shooting very well, and then towards the end of the season he started to up his game. But this year, man, he's just been on fire. He's been killing it. My only issue with him is they have to score 150 points to win a game. Because he does not play defense he's just not a factor on the defensive end. He's too small, and I think he just gets the Atlanta Hawks would have a much better winning record if maybe they built a defensive team around him. So obviously people who can shoot as well, but if they made him their main scorer and gave him defense where he could almost just not worry about defense, or if he starts improving on defense, then they'll be better. But he's too much of a defensive liability at the moment, and they're such a young team. Not just John Collins, but a lot of their team is very young at the moment. And they traded for Clint Capella this year as well, not to forget. So he's quite young as well, and he'll make a big difference once he's healthy. So I think the next few years, it's going to be a quick a quick ascension for them from bottom of the league to sort of one of the top teams in the East. So that will be exciting to look out for sure.
Okay.
But he's definitely one of the most exciting young stars that's coming out in the last few years for sure.
Well, lastly, we have Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid from the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, as you know, they have had some chemistry issues, even just maturity issues.
Personality.
If these guys can just get over themselves and just be able to just find that click,
do what's best for the team.
Yes.
Not for themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Like
the ega complex, I guess. They've both got big egos, and you got to be willing to put that aside for the greater good of your team.
Yeah. Because I think we predicted this team to go very far. I mean, they were pretty much a shot away of going to going to the conference finals, but also even beating Milwaukee to get into the NBA finals last year. Now
I think they definitely could have done it. If the Raptors could have done it, I'd just look at that season as such a missed opportunity because I think it comes down to the health of Joel Embiid, and we were up like 2-1 and then he got injured, and we just we need him to be healthy to be winning, but he's just not had a great track record with health very early in his career. It's not very promising in that regard. The amount of injuries he's sustained so young is very worrying to watch, because he just seems to be that dude that when he gets on the court, you're just constantly worried about him. It used to be me, man, when I played basketball. Always rolling my ankles or something. But he just gets on the field. When he gets knocked over or something, you just hold your breath because you're like, damn, like, please get up, please be alright. And he's such a great young player. They're both so great, like they just have so much potential. But they just can't seem to figure it out together. Whether they'd be better off not being together, which sucks to say because they could be so great together. But they do, whether they complement each other is the issue with those two. They're both very, heavy in the paint. They both block the lane for the other one when they're playing. Simmons, if he could develop a 3-point shot, would probably remove that issue. But to me, they've been the most exciting in the past few years. But at this point, it's starting to look a bit like it could already be coming to an end. There's already rumours of the trades coming, and it's been very disappointing. I think the last year almost shattered Philly. It was almost like they went all in for last year, and we got one shot shy, and then it just all fell apart. So they were probably the most promising duo for a long time in the Eastern Conference, and now they're sort of looking like it could be blown up in the next off season.
Well, we'll wrap it up there for the second segment. Tell us what you guys think at home. Who do you think are the upcoming NBA trios, duos, or core that would potentially impact the NBA in 5-10 years? Because it is scary how many young players there are in the league.
I feel like we've missed a lot in just this. I think we didn't even mention, but Cat and D-Lo as well are going to be a pretty good duo in the West. So we've obviously missed heaps, but there's just so much young talent.
Correct.
It's just
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
We forgot those two.
Celtics are
you can't leave them off the list. Like, we cannot wrap it up before mentioning those two, because they've far exceeded expectations at least this year, and they're going to be one to look out for in the Eastern Conference. So there's a lot of let's just say the league is in good hands at the moment, and it's definitely going to be exciting for the next generation once these players those current stars are wrapping up their careers. We've got a lot to look forward to.
All right, we'll leave it there for that segment. Welcome back, guys. We are going to talk about our hip hop segment now regarding Tupac Shakur, formerly or better known as Tupac or Park, or Thug Life. whatever you want to call him. Yeah, he had the tattoo on his stomach, and wow, what an icon, and what an icon to the hip hop community, just to the African American community. Yeah, because I felt like he was so ahead of his time in terms of, what he spoke, what his lyrics meant. Sometimes they were inciting violence. Sometimes they were, trying to make a difference, and also trying to, the aim was to make a difference, and also to inspire, I suppose. Or
he was definitely he's definitely got a rap of being he's not a rap, he's definitely got his music where he's talking about he's got his beefs, and he's got his thug persona, but a lot of his music was definitely trying to make a difference for his community and change the way people viewed black people as a whole. So and not only that, but he also talks a lot about standing up together and helping each other, not black on black violence, and he addresses all these issues that were very ahead of his time, as you said. So
well, we want to talk about his I suppose our favorite, but the most impactful songs in his career, in his short career. And as many Tupac passed away in 1996 in Las Vegas from a shootout, and I think Suge Knight, the founder and record owner of Death Row Records, was in the car with him, but he unfortunately died so soon. But obviously with so many people, that when people pass away, it's so odd with human life, where people remember you after you're gone.
Yeah, it's sort of I'm almost solidified because they only feel you after you're gone.
Well, I've been told. Yeah,
but you're right there. It sort of solidified him as arguably the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
he's he's widely known as the best, as the most influential, and whether his death had anything to do with that, it's unknown. But he was definitely taken too young. It's such a loss, because he had probably so much more to give. He had so much more to talk about, and it's one of the greatest losses in terms of artists in history, I would say. There's a lot of deaths that have been happening recently, and it's a loss in every case. But this would be almost like it at this point in time, in the prime of the career, Kendrick just getting shot. That's sort of the impact. Yeah, please. In America, stay away, guys. Don't fuck with Cole, don't fuck with Kendrick.
Exactly.
Because that's how big of an impact he had. He was the top of the game at the time, and it just solidified his legacy at his death, being so young. And we just did not get to see all the potential that he could have reached. So.
But it's funny you say that, because it's not funny, but Tupac wasn't just a rapper. He was the guy that started this whole movement where you don't just a rapper just makes money and talks about girls and the fame and all that, but he was actually so ahead of his time in terms of intelligence and thinking.
Definitely.
We previously we even spoke about the Venice Beach interview and how hard his upbringing was, but then he was he was speaking about how he made it out of the hood, and how you should always look after your community. Even in the MTV interview where he talks about Donald Trump,
he addresses all these issues,
social issues,
that we don't even address them now, bro, enough.
Exactly,
The fact that there's people out there with billions and billions of dollars, so wealthy, Jeff Bezos and all these people that just the scum of the earth, hoarding all this wealth to themselves. And then there's people out there that don't even have enough to survive. and he was addressing that.
Just doesn't make sense.
20 years ago, addressing the wider issues with our society that, you know, you just can't really bring up. There's people out there that have such disgusting wealth, and you know, obviously he made a lot of money through his music, but he was very aware of his situation and what was going on, and just a great loss in that regard as well. He could have been someone who fought for a lot of change in the community, and I know that he has had a long-standing impact in that he has still, you know, attributed to change and helped in that regard, but it's just, you just don't know what else he could have done, you know. So
alright, top 5, go.
Top 5 songs
straight off.
All right, and this is, again, it's always hard to do top 5, but the best diss song ever, Hit 'Em Up, hands down, is number 1 for me. Like, that is just the best hit, like straight up best diss song I've ever heard. I love it. It comes in hard. First off, fuck your bitch and the click you claim. he just destroys everyone in Biggie's crew. Just absolutely nails him. He says it straight up. So I love that song, and that's, again, one of his more violent songs, but you know, you can't take away from how great of a song it is, and it's just so fun to listen to. So yeah, that one's my favorite song. Changes is also probably my favorite song in terms of it's got a very catchy beat, and it's one of the most profoundly deep songs that he delivers. He addresses so many issues in that song about, you know, we got to change how we are, and we got to start treating other people the way we want to be treated. And so that one is probably the most influential song he left. And then if I'm going off the next 3, those are the 2 clear-cut winners for me. And then you got Hail Mary is definitely one of the catchiest songs. Come with me, Hail Mary. So yeah, then I've got to say All Eyes on Me. The All Eyes on Me album has got so many good songs throughout it. You got like 2 of America's Most Wanted. I love that song. You got My Ambitions as a Writer. You just got a bunch of great songs on that album. And then my final song, it's gonna have to be, there's a song that I've been listening to a lot lately. It's called Never Had a Friend Like Me. And it's got a real catchy tune to it, and it just sounds cool. Like it makes you sort of wish you know you were friends with Tupac. It's just a great song, and that would be my top 5 at the moment. It's a tough one with those last 3 because you could put in so many great songs, but there's a lot more. There's a lot of other songs that probably address more issues where he talks more about his upbringing, like Dear Mama is a great, very deep song where he talks about how his upbringing and his mum, and he's saying, you know, he still loves, you are appreciated. So yeah, he's got some great music. What about you? What's your top 5?
Going off your Dear Mama, and that's a good choice. Tupac's his ability to talk about women in a most respectful way, like Brenda's got a baby, Dear Mama. Like, he talks about the women in his life that have had struggles, you know, raising up, you know, his mama Fenny, you know, raising a kid, raising children on her own. You know, it's a struggle out there for women, and it's a big big love and respect to women out there, you know, that are single mums and doing it tough. Like, you guys have such great respect for them. But going back to Tupac, like, he has disrespected women.
I was gonna say, first off, fuck you, bitch.
but there's always a lighter side to people, and he's always, you know, respected that. He has his fun with his music, but deep down, he's clearly got those core values, and he stood for those values. But obviously, some of his diss music may have, you know,
gone on the other side of things, which is he's clearly going out to hurt you in that case.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I would say favorite song, Ambitions as a writer. Yeah, it's just so gangster. It's so gangster.
I'm a straight
and then
rider.
The piano.
You don't wanna fuck with me.
Yeah, the piano just kills me out. It's like, oh wow, man! It's just so gangster. It just makes you bump your head like this.
Yeah, that's definitely like I love playing that in the car, and you got your arm up in the thing, and you see someone, and you're just like, you don't want to fuck with me.
Changes is the second one. Basically, pretty much the social changes that needed to be addressed still haven't been addressed. You know, he banged out that song in 1995, I think 96 or something. Nothing's been done, you know. It's just
I see no changes.
I see no changes, and it still hasn't.
Wake up in the morning and I ask myself, is life worth living? Should I bless myself?
Yeah. California Love with Dr. Dre. That's a very like
well known.
Such a California song, to be honest. Like, it's just so Cali.
I don't actually rate that song that much, to be honest, in terms of my favourite. I don't know.
It's catchy. It's a very good song.
Yeah, it's a catchy song, but it's not one of my favourite Tupac songs, to be honest.
I would go Hail Mary, definitely. That's very like, it's very hoodie, very because he does reference like temptations, like the temptations of women. The best. What's that line where he says the best thing is something about getting pussy?
Oh yeah. It's like the most like he's like, fuck. How can I not? This is like my favorite line in the song, man.
Oh, I can't remember, but but he referenced it. It talks about the temptations of women and all of that, all that. And I'd say Two of America's Most Wanted, only because it's got Snoop Dogg in it. And
it's nothing but a gangster party.
Yeah. Oh shit! Back that up.
Yeah, it's a mad. That's mad.
I'd say that. Yeah, I'd say those are my. Oh, sorry. Those are my favorite. Top five Park songs of all time.
Apart from California Love, that's a pretty solid top five.
Yeah. But we'll wrap it up. But like. It was just his overall impact. Like, how did you want to end us talking about Park?
Well, I would just say the profound impact that he left on just throughout everything. He had such a cultural impact. He had such a social impact on just everything that he left was so profoundly meaningful. A lot of his music still is so. It just touches you deep today, and I'm just thankful that we at least can appreciate his music still, and that he left that mark, because it's probably some of the music that he left just rings with you, it just stays with you, and as you said, changes. There's still no changes, and he would still. I think if he was still here today, he would still be, a front runner in the fight for change, and he would be such a prolific figure still, even more so than he is. So it is like, whilst we said his death sort of solidified him, I think in the other aspect, he probably was already solidified in history, and he would have just continued to impact the world. So,
all right, one final question for you, Jake. If Tupac was still alive, what would you think of the current state? What would he think would be the current state of hip hop right now?
The current state of hip hop.
Would he be happy with it? Would he be like so insulted that these?
I think a lot of them he'd be. It depends on what if you're looking at mumble rap, I think he'd be pretty disgusted with a lot of the stuff that's coming out nowadays. But in terms of some of the people like Kendrick and Joey Badass and J. Cole and your actual rappers, I think he'd be impressed. Like I don't think he'd be too hard on that. I think it's just obviously the way that it's going nowadays with all the new sort of trap and all that. I don't know how you'd feel about that, but I think in terms of the broader context of how he would feel about the world in general, I think that would be. I think he wouldn't be too pleased with whatsoever. I think he'd still be fighting and still be addressing those issues that need to be addressed, and they're still not being addressed. The fact that there's still people out there with all this wealth, and there's still people dying in the world. We should be past that as a society, and I know that Tupac would not be standing for that.
Okay, well, great, analysis of Pac and his career, and rest in peace to Tupac. Yep. The legend will always live on. His music will always it's still talked about today, and it will still go on for another 50 years. So I mean, I'll be telling my kids, man, like, listen to this guy. Well, not hit him up, not so soon anyway, but like when you get older, you can listen to him. But listen to Tupac. So that's it, guys. That's it for another show. But let us know what your thoughts on Tupac are. What do you think of Pac and his impact, influence? What does he rate amongst your rappers? Even if you listen to him, like if you don't listen to him, definitely check him out. He's great. Anyway,
definitely.
Thanks, guys. That's another show from us. But we'll see you shortly.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.